This episode of The Mimic's Veil is brought to you by our newest patron, Andrew. And on this episode, we discuss some of Andrew's favourite pastimes, bikes, bukkake, and The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom.
Who would have ever thought we'd have seen the day that I became addicted to a Nintendo game again? Like, it's changed days. Well, maybe not, maybe a few days, but like, it's a lovely little game. Although the very first thing about it annoyed me, like that whole, maybe because I've not played any games like this for a while, or maybe because I've not played any Switch games for a while, but see that whole like blurring at the top and the bottom of the screen, like that was the first time that made me put it down. I'm like, no. Why are you doing this? I don't notice it as much now, but at the very first I'm like, is something wrong with this? I'm like, is there something wrong on the screen? Is like, why? Because it was very off-putting when I first noticed.
Was it a vignette?
No, I can't remember. Max gave it some like
a bokeh effect, isn't it? Or
something to make the dioramas look like.
Yeah, to give the illusion of like depth of field. Bukkake effect, yeah.
That's it.
Wow, we've nailed another episode title within the first minute. No, we can't do that.
I can't.
Yeah, I think it's jarring if you look directly at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's. So I'm assuming you didn't play the Link's Awakening remake, Alex.
No.
Yeah, because that was
the same.
Yeah, so if you played it, you would have got used to it. But
I don't
aside from. No, I don't now. I do notice it now and again, but it quickly fades into insignificance. So, yeah, that. Aside from noticing that, what did you think of that kind of opening sequence?
I mean, it was quite a nice little opening in terms of. Well, I played the first little bit in my VR headset just because I was wanted to.
You can.
And I could. Yeah, and it was just like, it was all very nice in terms of how it was done, and I suppose that whole opening sequence is what we've kind of seen. And I mean, wasn't that like the first trailer essentially?
Yeah, I think so.
Basically,
when
yeah.
they announced it, but it was a nice little bit kind of to introduce you to it, and I think as it built, and you probably to the extent of maybe the first hour or so, and you kind of got to that first rift and did the first dungeon essentially, and then you got your first ability and stuff like that, and it all started to take shape. I'm like, well, that's quite interesting. And it's full of creativity. Like, I think the fact that you can, I mean, I was messaging you this morning, Ben, because I got stuck at a silly bit, and I'm like, I'm doing something daft here. If I missed, like, genuinely have I missed something? And I'm like, oh, how many different things can I do with a bed? And I managed to do it with a bed. So I'm like, there's not many games like that where you can just like try things out and do it in whatever way you want, whatever order you want, and
yeah, it's got that. I think that opening sequence where you're controlling Link, it's almost like it mirrors Tears of the Kingdom, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
You start off like fully powered up, all your hearts, all your abilities, and everything. And as soon as I started that, I was like, okay, I see what they're going to do here. This is pretty cool.
Well, I would never know that. So.
No, still in the cellophane. But yeah, and then I was a bit kind of unsure for that first hour as well. I was a bit like, when we stopped playing as Link, when we were like, okay, so I'm going to have to flick through this menu to choose like a block or a pot or a bed. And it's a bit like, what, and then for the battles, I just have to summon creatures to battle on my behalf. And then pretty soon after that, I was like, oh, so to battle, I have to summon creatures on my behalf. This is amazing. This is like my ultimate video game experience. It's like
auto battle.
Pure cheese.
Fight for me. Yeah, it was. And when that clicked, yeah, I instantly kind of fell in love with it thereafter. But yeah, sort of. What's your overall take on it so far, Lewis?
I don't think I like it.
Shut up.
I'm unsure.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how far are you in?
I am maybe 3 hours.
Right. So you're what? Past the the tutorial dungeon basically.
Yeah.
And on
I've done
the first
Yeah, I've done that.
proper one. Right.
Yep, done that. Yeah, the whole scrolling through the menu thing, I'm struggling to get past. To be honest, I'd much rather use the sort of the pushing the up ability to use a sword.
What you'd rather just be the swordsman form. So basically, yeah, we should probably explain that.
Yeah.
If you press up, you can turn into your swordsman form or swordmaster form or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, whatever it is.
And basically be Link for a limited amount of time.
You've got. Yeah, you can power that up though. But yeah, it's not a lot at all. But I would rather be in that classic form.
Right.
I find cycling through and picking a summon to do the battling very, very frustrating because it's slow. I'm like, I could just knacker through this with a sword if I had power.
Just batter through.
I think the whole menu of going across and finding stuff, just not the best. But I don't know how else we would do it. It worked in like Tears of the Kingdom because it was like an extra. Like it wasn't mandatory really. You could just use your sword or the like. But yeah, I don't know. Like the last 2 nights that I've played it, I played for about 15 minutes and turned it off. Ooh. Because I was like, nah.
I am genuinely shocked.
And it looks so nice. And I'm like, and I'll get to a bit where it'll be like a little puzzly section and I'll have to use, I don't know, muck about a trampoline to try and get somewhere that you might not necessarily go that early in the game. And those are cool. But when it comes to having to battle, I'm like, this is kind of laborious.
I couldn't disagree more. Sorry, carry on, Alex.
I was going to say, I did probably agree with you early in the game. I think the further on you get, like the more powerful echoes that you get makes the battling a bit quicker. I also find them maybe don't engage in as much of the battling as I did at the beginning. Unless there's like a chest or something specifically at the end of it. But if there's a way past it, I will take it because I don't think there's much benefit in battling sometimes.
It's not like you gain XP or anything, is it? It's not like you have to battle. Obviously, there's some rooms in the dungeons where you have to fight to get through them.
But I think the more abilities you get as well, and the better echoes you get. Like whenever I got or we're just kind of not quite. Well, we're not really spoiling anything, but talking about the echoes, are we? Like
no,
as long as it's not like late game ones. I guess that's
see when I got like a bomb fish and I could just start blowing shit up with a fish. Like I was just watching this fish jump about, but actually blow things up at the same time. Like it's quite good, and as well.
And the other thing, it doesn't damage you, which is really cool. Like there's some really cool quality of life stuff in it. Like normally in Zelda, a bomb goes off, you have to run away from it, right?
Yeah.
But all of your summons, none of them can hurt you at all, which is cool. Although I'm pretty sure I caught fire a couple of times from the little fire blobby, the wee blobby fiery thing.
Blobby fiery thing, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try and stick with it. But like I was playing it just before we started, and done a few bits and pieces. But yeah, it's just the combat, and maybe it is because the echoes are quite slow. Like what's it called? Is it Darknut?
Darknut.
And it's like got his big axe, and he's like, how? It holds it there.
I've never used him. I think when you find
the
like
spinny thing, I use that all the time.
Oh, the peahat.
Peahat, that's the one.
I never remember any names.
Yeah. And I think you do. You like get a roster together of like, okay, well, this one's good on land. This one's good against flying enemies. This one's good underwater. Like, there's one underwater one that I was like, well, why am I ever going to use anything else now? Like, it was just like
the big one.
Yeah, just OP. Just brilliant. And there's a few. Yes, I want to say like the awesome what all the different ones are, but you get so many good ones. like, I would say halfway through the game, you get the good ones, and then at the end, there's a few late game ones that are like, you're just, really good. And then obviously objects and things like that. I think, I think the fact that Zelda is, I think I said this like on Twitter, but you're basically a necromancer, and like that's what I really like playing this, like in Diablo or whatever. It's like, wait, fight for me, like and you can just sit back and just basically the boss fights. You're just running around, letting them do everything, and then once they've downed the boss, you turn into sword form, slash it a few times, and then back away again when it's safe to do that. I really like that. I love how puzzly it is.
I think that's why I like it.
Yeah, because it's more of it is such a refreshing take on a Zelda game. Like, it's got all the bells and whistles and all the little touches that make it a Zelda game, but it's just so fresh in terms of. Because I've never been a massive fan of the combat in Zelda. Really, I think it's always been the weakest part of it. Like, exploration has always been like the fun part, of that sense of adventure. But I always thought fighting was pretty basic and not that fun. But just being able to stand back and choose, basically, like, it's almost like turn-based. It's almost like something like, or Unicorn Overlord, and you just go, right, this team, this will do. Yeah. Off you go. And it's the thinking man's Zelda. Not the doing man's.
I think the first time I went into are they voids? Is that what they're called? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Rifts.
Rifts, that was it.
That's it.
Yeah.
First rift you go into, there's like a few islandy type things you got to jump across, but that rift on the inside, it's massive.
Yeah.
It is.
Don't like it.
Too empty.
Oh, there we go. Big and empty.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's the real issue. We got to it eventually. Those rifts are, again, I thought this mirrored Tears of the Kingdom. You know how, like, the dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom, for want of a better word, there was the part of it was like the approach to get to the dungeon in the first place. I remember that one where you have to climb up through the clouds in Tears. I thought this is like, this has got that as well, where you have to kind of go through a rift first before you get to the actual dungeon. I thought that was quite a nice way. Or you have to rescue 5 of Try's little mates to, go and hunt for them and stuff. And again, just puzzly, just, I don't know.
But see, he was talking about it. I'm like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
but
see?
After a little while, when it's purely the battling that I think I've got the issue with. In that it's just, I can't just mow through enemies.
And I think
I get that.
And the more you upgrade Try, the more you can fire at the enemies as well. So it's like, it does get that way. And then also the more like items and stuff that you get, then the different ways you can approach the game as well. Like, so some of the items where you can make Zelda jump better, so that you're not always reliant on a trampoline, or where you can, once she changes into her true form, and you can sweep her hair around and knock people back. Like, so good.
And I love the bed.
Yeah, just instantly like recover just at any point that you want. Just
I've lost
your bed
half
out.
a heart. I'm just going to lay in bed. So that's such a cool little mechanic to have, because I think this is probably the most frictionless Zelda experience as well. Like, it is. I didn't have to look up anything. Like, I can't remember the last game where I haven't had to look up at least one thing. There was a couple of frustrating bits towards the end where I was a bit like, I think I can see what I've got to do, but this is hard. But it was like, at no point was it, at no point did I get frustrated and think of like stopping at all.
So have you both finished it?
I haven't. So I think I've done so of like the kind of, probably I'm gonna say, I think it's more like you're kind of games in 2 halves. Like, so I think I'm like one. I'm in the second dungeon of the second half, so I've got like one more after that, I think, and then probably
Right, yeah.
the end game, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, not far
Yeah.
off.
And then I finished it. I really just chowed down on this game. Like I found it really moorish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yummy. It was honestly like everything that I wanted. It was better than I expected it to be. By far, I thought it would be a cool little experience like Link's Awakening, but I think it's so much more modern than that.
Yeah. And it's really good, and it's a cool game for cool gamers. It's just not what I was. What I was
You're just
expecting
not
straight
cool.
off the bat.
Yeah.
I'm just not cool.
Oh, maybe that's it.
That's it.
But it's good that it's not the same as a traditional Zelda, where you can just go around and sort of slash everything. It is different, and it does just mix things up a bit. That's good. Shows you that Nintendo are still trying to think outside the box and do things their own way. And
Yeah, it's a shame they, did take some. There's other things. There's a few gripes that I've got with it as well. I think the inventory one. I think you're right to call that out.
Yeah.
Because it is clunky. You get it's almost like it was kind of like Stockholm syndrome for me. I was like, okay, well, this is just how it is, and I grew to love it. But the stealth sections.
Oh, yes.
Every time I got to one of them, I was like, oh.
You don't like stealth though. Did you not say the same about the Plucky Squire?
Yeah, I have definitely said it before about games that. Yeah, I think it was Plucky Squire. It was like, oh great.
In Discord, you were.
Yeah.
Get in, I think.
Yeah.
Hitman games, you like those stealth.
I actually like Hitman, but more. I probably enjoy the bits where it goes to shit and then you just have to run and hide in a cupboard. But yeah, in this, I didn't like the stealth at all. And then when I realised you could climb into a pot and then just hide and then shuffle along and then stop, I was like, okay, well that's made that 10 times easier. So there's always ways around these things.
It was like when it was done it, and I'm like, I need to do this again. Oh.
Yeah.
And then you get to another one, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. It's stuff like that, and I think that if it weren't for stuff like that, the management system and a few annoying late game bits, and not like super annoying. I'm not trying to put anyone off playing the whole thing. Like it's just like a section of a dungeon where I'm like, oh great, now I've got to get across there, and there's a bunch of stuff trying to kill me in the way, and it's not the smooth experience I had become accustomed to. So I think that probably dings it a whole point in total for me and take it down to like a 9 rather than a 10, but still good, and a lot like again. I said the combat was weak in Zelda games. Story is always shite as well. I thought the story in this was actually pretty cool. Like I was invested in it, and some of those sort of late game moments that you were talking about, Alex, or the second half, some nice little whimsical bits and some pretty heartfelt bits as well. They were like, oh, that's nice. Like, sort of sad bits, and it was just like really well done. Really well. It got me.
Did it?
Yeah.
You were laughing last week at the week before. I know you're crying.
Yeah. No, I didn't cry. But I did think, I reckon that's the sort of thing someone would cry at.
Okay.
If they had a heart.
Yeah, exactly.
So, maybe I will then. No.
Yeah, I wonder if you've got to that bit or not, Alex. I think you would know what I'm talking about if you did. But maybe it just hit me.
I mean, there was one nice bit, but I don't think I can. I don't think I will be at the bit that you were.
No.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe.
Which element did that happen?
I don't want to say.
Oh, come on.
No. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk later.
I mean,
I don't want to ruin it for Lewis either.
What I will say is, I think this might be the first Zelda game that I ever finish.
That's crazy. That's absolutely mental. Can't believe you've never done one before.
I mean, I very rarely finished Breath of the Wild, but like, just didn't do the last kind of bit.
It's an odd one. It's like it just feels like it feels modern and fresh, but there's a few bits where I'm like, oh no, that doesn't quite feel like a Zelda game. Like there's the chests with just rupees in. Like, you know, okay. I'm like, come on. My brain has been trained to expect like a decent item. Give me a bottle at least to put some fairies in or something. Yeah. Like it's just, oh great, money. You know.
Yeah, I felt like I'd done like a decent little bit of like a few rooms, and I was like, oh, I'm going to make something good at the end of this, and I got like some chilies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, Alex. The thing we were messaging each other because I think we were about at the same point of like maybe finishing the first couple of dungeons.
Yeah,
and we were saying, and I think you said, "Oh, have you actually used any smoothies yet?" And I was like, no, not at all. It's weird. Maybe I need to use them later on. I definitely use them later on.
Use them.
Like, they come in very handy. Like pretty, yeah. I mean, again, that system of making the smoothies in the first place is like painfully slow, isn't it? And it doesn't even have the funky music like when you're cooking in Breath of the Wild. And it's got that whole thing. There's none of that, which would have been a nice touch. But it's, that's a cool system, and those smoothies come in handy. Definitely.
Does it funnel you down the same way? So I went to Gerudo Desert. Is that the way the game takes you, or did you go somewhere else?
That's the way it. I think I went there first as well, but I think you could go either way.
You can go either, yeah. So it could, basically you can choose which one of those two you go to. But I happen to do the same, basically because I always hate desert sections. So right, I want to get that out of the way first.
So that's another thing that is in my mind as well, because it's always the Gerudo areas, deserty areas in Zelda games. I'm like, get through this. So because I'm there, I'm like, right, I'll get past this and see how I am with the Zoras or whatever.
Yeah. So exactly. And that's what I did. But I didn't find that Gerudo section too bad. Maybe because you're already dressed as a woman. Maybe that made a difference. But yeah, I actually thought it was quite cool. And yeah, there weren't really any sections that I didn't like. Like no big... Because even in the thing that stopped me playing Tears of the Kingdom was getting to that like fire temple or whatever it was. And I was just like, I just don't like being here. This is underground.
That was the worst bit
magma
of that game
everywhere. Yeah, and I knew from like listening to podcasts and listening to you guys talk, I knew what I had to do to get through it, and the way that people described it, I just had it in the back of my mind like, oh, this sounds like such a chore, and I think that's where I put it down. But yeah, I don't think there was any of that in Echoes of Wisdom. I think it was all just pure gravy.
Pure gravy. Yeah, like I said, I am going to stick at it because I want to like it.
Yeah,
I feel like there is a point where it, and I don't mean a point as in a specific part of the game, but I almost feel there's an echo that you find is like your echo that transforms the game, and I don't think it'll be the same echo for every person. Like I'd imagine everyone does a wee bit different. Like for me, it was, well, that's quite an early one, but it was the water cube. As soon as I get that water cube, it completely transformed the game for me, and that's just what I use so much to do things and you never think it, but
no,
it's you do get some that you just end up using in a way that you probably would never imagine that's what you'd use it for. Like, you
weird. I've heard a few people say that, and I don't think I used the water cube at all, other than the section where it's like almost mandatory when you first get it. I don't think I used it after that.
I use it for everything.
Yeah, weird. What? So you just made like a stack, and then I didn't. I literally didn't use it at all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I used a creature, let's say, to accomplish the same thing.
One that Reese would like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I found that more than sufficient for going up things. Yeah. No, I like it. I think it's in that sort of game of the year list. It's going to be up there.
If it ran better.
Well, yeah, we should say that. Actually, it does run like arse, doesn't it?
So are you playing it on telly or handheld?
Handheld.
I think I did. Probably about half and half, actually.
I thought it looked fine handheld, but on the telly it looked choppy.
I think at certain points it feels like it slows down and it
really?
drops frames and stuff. I feel like
it's when you come out of a building or a dungeon, and it's like the world struggles to load in, and it just gets really. It's like the frame rate just chugs. I don't know if it's as egregious as it was in Link's Awakening, because that had the same issue, didn't it, in certain areas? But I don't remember noticing it as much then. But then I wasn't. I'd only had a Switch. Like, I wasn't a frame rate snob at that time, so I've noticed. But yeah, you do. You do notice it, and it does kind of slightly make you wish there was a Switch 2 on the market already. But
not long.
No, not long, and that'll be. I'd like to think I might play through it again one of these days. It was a nice little way to spend.
What other games
15
have you
hours or
played
so?
twice?
Street Fighter 2. 5 minutes. Not many. Donut County.
Oh yeah.
Another short one. I can't think of many at all. Titanfall 2. Played through that campaign a couple of times. But yeah, that's about it. What about you? Yeah, Control. Control. You play loads of stuff more than once, don't you?
That's all I do. I've played Control 3 times. I played Hollow Knight, God knows how many times. Ocarina of Time twice. Countless others. Disco Elysium twice.
Alex, I feel like you're more like me, and you're
I
one and done.
I don't think I've played many games twice. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of, unless it's been like a remaster or a re-release or something, or a remake. But I can't. Yeah. I genuinely can't think. Well, I mean, there's things like Vampire Survivors where I've played it on like every platform that it's available on. But I mean, like, I wouldn't say that's playing it twice.
No,
Elden Ring. Twice.
Have you finished that twice?
Yeah.
God damn it!
I'm going to do it the third time just to get the platinum, because that's the kind of guy I am now.
Oh no,
I'm poisoned.
I know one. I've played Spider-Man twice because I played it in platinum it in PS4 and then I played it in platinum it in PS5, like without save scumming or anything. I did the whole thing.
Without the
properly.
Without the automatic trophy pop.
Yeah, because I didn't have my save.
You've wasted hours.
Well, no, it was back in those days when it was a game club game.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Or I don't even know if it was playlist by that point. I can't remember, but it was one back in those days, and I just played through the whole thing again. And
we should do something like that again.
I liked it.
I liked it. It was good. But maybe they need to be
cool game club.
Short, cool game club for cool game clubbers. But maybe they need to be shorter games.
Sounds quite a mouthful.
Cool game. No, I can't. Cool game. No.
Cool game club for cool game clubbers.
Nice.
I don't think I said that quite right.
No chance that I'm going to manage that.
Lorelei. Call back. Yeah. But all in all, I guess, I know obviously we're at various stages of Echoes of Wisdom, so hard to put like a fair rating on it.
So can I ask a question? Do you think
That's what it's all
how
about.
I feel about the game unjust, unwarranted, in my opinion?
No, because I don't think I disagree with a lot of the things you're saying at the early point of the game. I know you're
I'm still very early. Like it's.
yeah.
I think get through the first 2 dungeons, like the Gerudo one and the Zora one. If you still feel the same, maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
But if you're started to warm to its charms by then, I think you'll stick with it. I would say.
Okay. I will do
And
that.
And that's advice specifically for you. I think most people would enjoy this within that first hour or 2. It would grab, but you're a dark nut to crack.
Exactly. I mean, the VGC camp, they scored it quite poorly in comparison to the rest.
That was their 3 of 5, really.
Yeah, I think Andy Robertson, is that his name?
Robinson.
Yeah, one of them. Robinson. Saying similar things about the inventory being a fucking pain in the arse.
Yeah.
You should have
So
had
there's
like a
your problem.
shortcut wheel.
Reading reviews.
That was a tweet.
Yeah, all that.
Was it? From Stealth or something like that.
Yeah. Well, there's your problem. Reading
Stealth.
tweets.
Reading
Yeah.
Twitters.
Yeah. Stealth. Back to stealth. Stealth is the problem. I told you. Yeah. Okay. Well, I would put this as a dynamite
Wow.
for me. I think it's, despite a few caveats, I don't think there's not many better games out there that nail that. Oh, just that lovely feeling. It's a cheese major's dream.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's it.
I'm not sure I'd quite go to Dynamite. I think I'd maybe set it just right. I mean, I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not sure it's Dynamite. I think just right for me right now.
How dare you?
And I'm not quite. At the moment.
No,
Subject to change.
Yeah, I think that's fair though, Alex. I think I'm probably, if we had something in between what Dynamite and
Just
not
right.
quite, is that what we said? Just right. If we had something in between them, we'll have a 10-point scale eventually. Something else that rhymes, but yeah, probably in between those 2. But veering slightly towards Dynamite because I just love it. The music is lovely.
We could use Top Flight, like you suggested.
Top Flight.
Hollow Knight.
Top Flight. 180. No, it's golf, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know why I always think that's darts.
I don't. But there's a pub/club in Edinburgh called Flight Club,
Which
and
is
it's
darts,
darts.
isn't it? Yeah. Because it's flights going the end of your darts.
Exactly.
But I'm sure Top Flight is a golf.
It's a golf
I
night.
think it is. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Well, that's Echoes of Wisdom. I still have to think of what the name is.
Yes.
I don't know why that is, but it still doesn't roll off the tongue for me.
Echoes of Wisdom. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's a nanosecond of thought before saying it, which for me is very rare. It's just, odd. Have you played anything else, Lewis, this week that has been to your taste?
Yes, I have.
Good. Well, tell us about that then.
And it's a game that you guys will not care about. I've spoken about this type of game on multiple podcasts, and quite frankly, no one gives a fuck.
Okay, can we guess what it is?
You can indeed.
The type of game.
Yes.
Well, my guess is motorbikes.
Motorbikes, yeah.
All right. Come on then, talk about it.
I'm playing Ride 5.
Except they're on PS Plus or something, didn't it?
It's on PS Plus, yeah.
Okay.
So I really liked Ride 1 and 2 on the PS4. I had them, bought them, enjoyed them. Didn't play Ride 3. Didn't really care about Ride 4. Got it when I got my PS5, but, Ride 5. Working my way through the career. Doing some slinky passes, riding some bikes. Slaying some pussy,
Wow. Okay. It's more of a life sim then than
It's indeed, yeah.
Okay. Art imitates life.
It's just...
What is it? Is it like open world? I'm trying to think because
No,
Alex
it's not.
is obviously partial to a racing game.
It's not
I
open
like them
world.
as well. Okay. Is it arcadey or is it simmy?
It's
Okay. You're losing us, Lewis.
I really like sim, whereas I don't like car racing games unless it's arcade. I don't like simulation driving games.
Okay.
But simulation bike games.
You're all
Sweet
about
spot.
that life.
All over that.
Weird, because I'm more of a super hang-on road rash kind of guy. Can you hit people in this? Whip them
Not with
a
your
chain?
fists, but you can collide.
Bump into them. Okay.
Yeah.
Dangerous. Graphically, how is it?
Very nice.
Yeah. Trying to think what like, because I am interested. I don't want you to feel like you're on your own here.
I am.
I know, but I don't. I want to ride pillion and hold on.
Jump
I'll
on
go
the
in the
back.
sidecar.
What a mental image that is.
Yeah. Jump in the back. Put your hands on the handles. No, not those ones. The ones on the bike.
It's not the gear stick.
So what I like about these games is the repetition in trying to get the perfect line, trying to get down to like a reasonable lap time. So say it's not really in this, but in other games, like the MotoGP games, I quite like do qualifying sessions to try and start from pole. I just really like knocking off tenths, hundredths, thousandths off my lap time, seeing those green markers instead of red. Red means you're not done as well. Green means you've done better.
Classic.
To get
I
purple
just
ones.
no
Legendary. Oh.
legendary one.
Your purple is like the fastest of all the sectors. If it's like the fastest of everyone's, is it not usually?
Nah, it's for in one bike things. It's always just green.
Lost
Not
even
in
more
West Scotland.
now. Yeah.
Must use well. So yeah, that's what
We're trying to relate to him.
That's why I like it.
It's, right, look. Are there online leaderboards?
Don't know.
Okay.
I've just done career just now. I've not done any online anything. I assume there is.
Okay. I'm clutching at straws here, trying to find something.
It's tricky, but it's more difficult.
What's the
than car
soundtrack?
games.
What's the soundtrack like?
Do you want to know this? In all these games, if there are songs on in the background when you're riding, I turn the music down. I'll turn the music off, in fact, just so I can listen to the sweet, sweet sound of the engine.
Yeah.
I do. I turn the music down because I find it too annoying. But I don't think there is any music in this other than menu music.
I guess there
Your
wouldn't be
song.
if you were riding a bike with them, you know.
No.
No.
So yeah,
Can't really hear the radio going.
you get some bike. You get like Gold Wings. I think they've got radios, big massive things. But yeah, it's bike games. I think are more difficult than car games because you can fall off.
Yep. That's true. You'd have to really be driving a car badly to fall out of it, wouldn't you?
The G's. Just
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what else I've been playing. Ride 5,
Okay.
5th of its name.
Fifth of its name. I'd like to, and you say it's on PS Plus.
It's on PS Plus. I can
See, if we-
guarantee it that you'd absolutely despise it.
But this seems like a good cool game club for cool game clubbers.
No. It'd be a cool
Because
game.
then you
club.
can force people to play it.
I don't even think. I don't know who else. Anyone else plays in this group that we have? Anyone else is fussed about bike games? I think
We've all
Mark
got-
Hammond has said he's played a couple.
Yeah, I can imagine him being into it.
He prefers the four wheels though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for sharing with the group.
That's fine.
Yeah, I respect that. If nothing else, I respect it. Respect your willingness to be an outlier and a pioneer
That's me.
about you. What about you, Alex? You played anything else?
Where
Of
do you want me
note?
to- where do you want me to start? Like,
Wherever you want.
so I've been continuing my survivor like chase, and I've played a few more. So most recent one I've found myself quite addicted to is Halls of Torment. which sounds ridiculous, but it's just another Survivor-like that's slightly different.
Saliva-like.
Survivor-like, yeah. Survivor-like. Where it's very Vampire Survivors, except it's maybe a slightly more medieval, maybe not quite. The graphics are a bit better, but probably the main difference from that one, like if you're on a run and you're different, more enemies come at you and more bosses, and if you take down bosses, you can either get an extra weapon or you get like an item that you put on yourself that gives you some sort of boost. It could be a ring or a helmet or something like that, but you then get a well system where you can deposit that in the well so that you can buy it for future runs, and that's how you progress rather than just unlocking it through like coins. So you need to like survive and get it in the well for you to be able to buy it for future runs.
What's it called?
Halls of Torment.
Halls of Torment.
So that's been quite good.
Nice
Another-
twist.
Yeah.
I looked at I did, because I saw you were playing it a couple of nights ago, and I had a little look at the trailer for it. I thought that, I don't know, the graphics looked odd to me. Looked very, does it look
They're
better in
kind of a
motion?
mix of something like it's. I mean, I've only played it handheld. I haven't played it at all on PC, so I'm not sure. But I mean, it's fine. It's almost like the characters look a little bit disjointed for the background, I'd maybe say.
I like the way that looks.
But the other thing about it is you can also toggle on and off, whether it's auto battle and auto combat. So you can use it so you need to fire, and you can use it so you need to aim. So you can make it as hard or as easy as you want. But it is quite difficult. I've still not finished a run on it for the full 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute run on these ones. And then you unlock more characters and stuff as you go. It's your kind of traditional thing in that way, and you can unlock different bits. But as like the kind of hub opens up, you've got like the well keeper who will sell you things. You've got like different quests that you need to go and do to unlock things. You've got coins that you can upgrade your abilities in the normal way, like that. So that's pretty good. So that's my Survivor like of the week.
It looks,
that's that section over.
I love this section. It looks like a Mega Drive game for me.
The Golden Axe type
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
Of that
first thing
era,
I was like,
in
yeah,
that
it's
style.
like if Desert or Jungle Strike had a person instead of a helicopter, like graphically.
I wouldn't say it feels as much like that when you play it. Maybe, I don't know, it doesn't feel as retro when you play it. I wouldn't say it doesn't feel modern, but it doesn't feel as retro as that as you play it.
How's it reviewed? What you
I haven't
got
even
the Steam
checked,
page
to
up
be
there,
honest.
Lewis?
I have the Steam page.
What's the reception?
Well, let me just scroll so I can find the right bit. Well, the Metacritic bit here, 90, which is last time I checked quite high. Overwhelmingly positive, 23,053 reviews.
That is good. I've enjoyed
that is
it.
That is good.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's a $5.
These games are never that expensive. Like,
Yeah, I might have a little dabble in that.
Have a wee shot then.
That does sound more appealing than Ride 5 at this stage.
Excuse me?
No offense.
How can you hit an apex in this game? Unless there's a character called an apex, and you can hit them.
Maybe.
and yeah, I'd like to know if you had a dabble at this one, Ben, because the other game I played a lot of is RoGlass, and I'd never heard of this game.
Oh, just
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And Tyler, I think it was Tyler that shared it in our Discord. Was it? I think
It was actually me.
was it you, Ben? Sorry,
That's awkward.
sorry.
No, just your co-host.
Sorry.
You know, supposed to be your friend.
I apologise.
No,
I think
you're
sorry.
not staying here anymore.
Okay, sorry.
You did.
So no, I've been playing a lot of RoGlass, and this game is very difficult to explain. So this just went into like version 1.0. It was in early access for a wee while, and I think you'd seen a review or something of it and shared it. And it's a puzzle game, and it's basically based on tiles. And you start with a little grid, probably just a really small square, and you need to basically. There's 100 achievements to unlock in the game, and each achievement essentially gives you another square on the grid, and you have 100 quests to go and obtain, and you just have a limited number of tiles, and each tile is a different type. So you can have a tile which is a bird, a tile which is an island, a tile which is a campfire, a tile which is a star. They all have different values, they all have different abilities, and it's basically with your stack of tiles and then the different abilities and the different things that you unlock as you complete these achievements to get the maximum scores that you can get to be the highest on the leaderboard, or to be the highest on, like, just get that high score and unlock the 100 achievements. And when you unlock the 100 achievements, you'll have like the full size of grid to then play with, because the achievements are like little padlocks around the edge of the grid, so you can see them where they are as you're trying to then go. And it's so addictive, so simple but quite complex at the same time. And you just keep going and going and going and going for one more time, one more time, one more time, one more time, and you're like, yeah, so good.
It sounds like the ultimate Alex game.
Yeah.
Like everything about it. Is it at all like Dorf Romantic in any way?
Kind of. I mean, it has a wee bit like Dorf Romantic, but Dorf Romantic's probably a much... Whereas Dorf Romantic, probably to get a high score on that, you're probably talking like hours. Like, because you just want to keep going and going and going. This is like minutes, because you only maybe have 12 or 13 tiles max. I think you start with maybe 5 or 6, and you get... takes a while to build up. So it's really short runs. So it's not like your minutes rather than hours. And I thought it wouldn't play that well on the Steam Deck because of the nature it was all like more point and click type to place them. But it, actually the touchpads and stuff, and you basically use the touchpad and the trigger to put the tile down, and it works really well on the Steam Deck as well.
That's quite cool. Yeah,
I've just sat for hours.
It looks like a... Yeah, it does look like one of those, like a Dorf Romantic, like you can just pick it up and just chill and play it and not...
Yeah.
I think it's quite clever how the progression is tied to achievements as well. Like that's like crack for you, isn't it?
So I think I've maybe got about 60 of the 100, maybe. I'll check.
It's good. It's such an odd one to look at, but as soon as I saw it and I saw the head... I'm just looking in our Cool Games for Cool Gamers section of Discord, which you too can be a part of at patreon.com/themimicsvale.
Nice plug.
Nice plug. Yeah, and I just said this looks like a proper Alex game. And the headline, excellent roguelike you probably missed, has just hit 1.0. And it just, it looks really puzzly. A blend of puzzle classics like Tetris and roguelike gems like Balatro. RoGlass has finally launched into Steam 1.0, and you need to try it.
Because it is almost like in terms of Balatro, in terms of maximising the mix of jokers and stuff, whereas with this it's more about maximising how you're using your tiles. Like certain tiles next to each other will do different things, or like away from each other. Like there's plain tiles, and you need to... your objective with them is to get them as far away as possible from each other, as like rather than close. And then you get different bonuses for like how many different types of tiles you have in a run and stuff like that. And you'll only start off with a couple, but 65 of 100 achievements I've got, so
very cool.
getting there.
Yeah, I'll have a dabble in that of a quiet afternoon at the weekend, obviously.
What about you, Ben?
Yeah, not a lot. As I said, I've pretty much just devoured Zelda, and that's been my life. But I have had a little, because we're approaching spooky season. I did fire up Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh, yeah.
And put a couple of hours into that. A couple of tension-filled, dreadful hours.
You've never played Resident Evil 2 before?
Not hands on the sticks played it, no. I'd been present with my friend while he was playing it. But, yeah, never played the original. I was aware of, like, the opening bit of the original, but, yeah, not played it myself. And I find it really difficult to play. I thought I'd be fine because I was fine with Resident Evil 4. But I think the fact there's not like chapters, like obvious chapters in this. It's just sort of there are chapters, but it doesn't say right end of chapter 1. Congratulations, unless I just haven't got that far yet, and maybe it does. But I'm sort of it just seems endless at the moment, and I find that very, like where I dropped off with Alan Wake 2 was like, oh well, this level's going on for fucking ages. I've got about an hour tolerance for stuff for tension like that, and if it goes on too long, I'm just like, what? I'm not enjoying this. Why am I sitting here for an hour and a half, 2 hours?
So is there
This feels horrible.
Is there chapters in Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, because you get a little chapter summary at the end, and that's like a good time to take a break. And yeah, they're about an hour long each, so that's like perfect. But yeah, this just feels like, yeah, it's just daunting. So chances are not going to carry on with it. As cool as it is, like I'm pretty impressed with like how it looks, how it plays, everything else. I love everything about it. I'd love to love these games, but I just feel awful playing them. So why would I? You know.
Are you saying that? Like I've only ever finished one Resident Evil game. That's Resident Evil 3, and that was God knows when it first released.
Yeah. That's quite short as well, that one, isn't it? Which is...
It didn't feel like it at the time.
No. Well, I mean, this is only, I don't know, 8 hours maybe, something like that. So
Is it?
Not long. You know, we talk about these lovely little indie games that are 8 hours. We're like, oh, it's a perfect length. Amazing. I need a horror game that's like half an hour long. Like, that would be my ideal. And then I could get through it. Yeah. Just hold my breath for half an hour and get through it. But yeah, whether I carry on with this or not, I don't know. But I thought I'd give it a go anyway.
Yeah.
Might go
Any other
Variety.
Any other spooky games that you're thinking
Any
of?
other spooks? No, I thought about, because Dead Space is on PS Plus now as well, isn't it? So I thought I've downloaded that, but I can see exactly the same thing happening. You know, it'll be too tense, and I'll just check it out. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
No.
You, Lewis, any spooks?
I was talking to games replaying. I've been dabbling in Little Nightmares 2.
Ooh, going back to that.
Yes.
Did you see Little Nightmares 3's playable at EGX?
EGX, yeah. Really curious to see that because chills, and I want to see how. I want to know how it plays because, like, I'd rather, you know, if I was to pick Little Nightmares 3 or Reanimal.
That's what it's called. I was trying to think.
Reanimal every day of the week, but just by purely how it looks.
Yeah. I think it's a safe bet. Yeah, interesting. Oh, someone's playing Ride 5 outside. But
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Lovely. So, how about we play a game
Right
right
5.
now? We'll circle back to that. In the meantime, let's
Sugo.
sure. How about we do one lap around a little circuit that we call Guess the Outro
Wow.
Was that creepy turbo?
It wasn't planned out that way, but hey, it's seasonal appropriate.
Right.
Right.
Your button isn't working either. You just did that whole.
Yeah. Weeks of practice. So we've had another listener submission for this one. You'll be pleased to know. So thank you, listener. I will reveal
Yes, thanks,
who
listener.
it is at the end. Thanks, listener.
Thanks a lot, listener.
So I'm going to give you 3 clues. And you've got 10 questions to determine the outro.
Can I say, I really enjoy this format.
Yeah. Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Does it not sound like I'm being sincere?
Well, never. But that's great.
I really like it.
Yeah. Is there a but?
No.
No. Well,
I know
that's warmed my heart.
it's a bit off-putting, isn't it?
I'm not used to being buttered up like this.
It's really good.
Okay, good. Well, as long as you enjoy it and the listeners enjoy it, that's the main thing.
What about me?
Right. meant you as in you both. fuck you, Alex. Your opinion doesn't mean shit. Right, clue number 1. Oh, great clue. I am smashing it with these clues. So I'm really too kind to you. As of February 2024, this has sold over 30 million copies.
Wow. That's
an obscene amount.
Elden Ring.
So it's not going to be like a first-party PlayStation game because they sell fucking none.
Oh, sick burn.
So take that, PlayStation.
Oh, Laurie, you listening?
But it's true though. They do technically. You always
They
see
top
like
out
Nintendo.
like 15 million, don't they?
Yeah. So you think they'd
chicken
sell
feed.
more?
You could probably say it's not an indie.
What could be? You ask
Well,
that.
I mean, should we say if it's a Nintendo game? Because I think if it's not a Nintendo game, that really narrows it down.
It does, yeah.
If it is, it doesn't. But I mean, if it's not,
I know, yeah. It's a good one.
Think about the phrasing of your question.
Is he just saying that to make us think?
I think.
Okay.
Dear.
How would we phrase it? Isn't it?
Is it a Nintendo published game? Because then, how many other? There's no Nintendo published games that are on other systems.
No. Yeah, go
I
with
don't
that.
think.
Is it a Nintendo published game, Ben?
No.
Right.
Is it Elden Ring?
Yeah. Or FIFA.
I'm assuming this is one game that sold 30 million and not like a series of games. It must be.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have said.
It's
They
not
would have said
best
if it
out
was-
of the series, is it?
Yeah. Over 30 million copies sold.
I mean, amazing. Why I'm wondering if it's February, because February was the month that the Elden Ring came out, and then that would be like a 2-year anniversary, and it sold 30 million in 2 years. Do you think we should ask if it's a? I don't know. I mean, I could be
Souls.
completely going off like the rails with there, but I'm trying to think of other games that would sell 30 million copies.
Yeah, in that period, because like GTA 5 would have sold 30 million copies 10 years ago. You could ask if it's a Souls-like
Or a FromSoft.
or a FromSoft game.
There's no other Souls like that's going to sold that kind of volume.
I don't know, Dark Souls have been out for
No,
a
30
good long while. No? Do you ask that?
Yeah.
Benjamin, is it a Souls-like game?
No.
Are you going to discount us for saying Souls-like and not a Souls game?
Is that question 3?
I don't think he'd be that cruel.
I do think that. Look at his face.
Listen back to the last God knows how many episodes. Tell me at what point I have been anything less than helpful.
Yeah.
When you said Clue 1, it was like, I like this game. Whatever.
It's not
whatever
Nintendo. It's not
that was.
Nintendo. What other games have sold 30 million? So, do you think it could be
guess it-
GTA? Like, should be.
But you'd think they would have sold 30 million as of years ago. That's what I would have thought. You know? Because it's been on, was it PS3? PS3? PS3, PS4, PS5?
PS4, PS5.
Yeah, I would have
Question
thought that.
3. You
Yeah.
get a
We're
clue
just
after
talking.
question 5.
Stop pressuring us.
Clock is ticking.
I know it is. We're talking here. We're talking here.
I'm talking here.
Should we try and nail down the
gonna
time
eat some-
period to see
I'm
if
gonna
it's
eat
an
some
old
biltong.
game that's had? Could be like, cause it could be something like Skyrim as well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Some ASMR biltong for you listeners just to entertain you while these fucking idiots are talking.
We could ask if it's a big RPG.
yeah,
you say it?
That's that.
Yeah, Ben, is this game an RPG?
No.
What are you judging that on? You seem to think about that.
I've just got a chewy bit of biltong.
So it's not Skyrim then. Does that rule out GTA? Because GTA is kind of an RPG, is it?
Yeah. I don't know. What else would you say it was? It's a life sim.
What other games would have sold 30 million copies?
That's a
This is
doozy of a
ridiculous.
clue.
That's not Nintendo.
Final Fantasy? Nah.
I wouldn't have thought so, because they never meet sales expectations.
Hogwarts Legacy, would that have done?
Oh, that was a big seller, but not 30 million, I don't think.
I would have been would have been
No,
less
it's
than a
only
year
been
as well.
year. Well, it'd been about a year.
Shall we try and get a date?
Yeah.
I need a date range. A date range.
Would you think more than 5 years?
Yeah.
Was this game released more than 5 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's 2019.
Or before.
Before, yeah.
That's 4, Ben, isn't it?
Yep. Got one
5
more.
years
and you
ago,
get
actually.
another
That should have been 2010 or something. Not
Mad.
2019. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Stupid time.
It's time. What the fuck you up to? 30 million. Could be GTA, Alex. It could be.
Well, we ask if it's a Rockstar game, and then that just
Yeah.
ultimately rules it out. Is this a Rockstar game?
No.
No.
Okay.
Clue, please.
Not a rock star. Okay. Your clue is. I'm tempted to give you 2 clues here because you're struggling.
We are.
This is number 32 on Games Radar's top 50 games of all time.
That's never going to help us.
Sandwiched between Dead Space 2 and Super Metroid.
This is a clue, is it?
That's
that's 2
that is
clues.
a clue.
it's a shite clue.
No, that's a clue. It's the 32nd best game of all time, according to Games Radar. That's
It's a shite clue.
okay. In which case, I'll add a little bit of extra flavour to one of your questions when you asked, "Is it an RPG?" No, it is not an RPG, but it does contain some RPG elements. But it's not strictly speaking. If you said, "Is it an out-and-out RPG?" the answer is no, but it does contain some RPG elements.
Well, it could be like a big selling indie.
I've said too much.
Could it? Do you think? Like what?
Hollow Knight. I don't know if that sold more than 30 million copies, but that's more than 5 years old. Shovel Knight.
Oh, we ask if it's an indie.
That's your
Is that an
question.
indie, Ben?
Yep.
What indie sold 30 million copies? Hollow Knight won't have sold 30 million copies, will it?
I don't know. It's very popular amongst the kids and the grown-ups.
What's its RPG elements?
Setting stuff with a knife, with a sword. Pretending you're a wee insect. Shovel Knight. Undertale. It's got a great soundtrack, Undertale.
We've already done that, no?
No, I mentioned it
Did we guess
last
it,
week
maybe?
when we're talking about like handheld games. An indie. Did this, I'm going to go out on a limb here, did this indie game have a incredibly small development team?
I mean, that's relative, isn't it? But I'm going to say yes.
Can I reword that question? I think it might be Undertale.
Is that not Devolver? Was Undertale Devolver?
Nah.
Was it not?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't know who published it.
Let's not ask that just in case it confuses us because we don't actually know the answer. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you could just guess it and see if it is it.
Well, this-
You can't just guess it. If you just
Why?
guess it, that's your guess.
Oh, really?
So we've had this conversation.
Okay, I can't.
But we're only
I
allowed
can't
one
think of these
guess.
things.
Yeah.
Sounds
Is
fair.
this? Yeah, I'm sure we've guessed more.
Couple of episodes ago,
I've asked.
I said I'm not taking your shit anymore. Remember?
No.
Because we did reel off loads of games, didn't we? Was this game?
3?
Was this game developed
5.
by Toby Fox?
Oh no.
Oh, it's not Undertale.
Or Deltarune.
Or Deltarune, yeah. An anagram of Undertale.
Little nugget of fact. Hey, you should be doing this, Lewis.
What
You
about
should be a
Blake?
quiz master.
What about Braid or
Knowledge like that.
something?
The anniversary edition just released, didn't it?
Yeah.
That is like the granddaddy indie.
Of indies, yeah. It's probably the one that could have that kind of level of sales.
Yeah, the 32nd best game.
I wouldn't have thought so, but then maybe.
How many questions we had?
You're on question 9 now. You've got 2 questions
really?
left.
I
Yeah.
think
You've added one there at least.
Yeah,
I've got them all written down. I can recite them to you if you like.
Please.
Okay.
Remarkable.
It's not Nintendo published. It's not a Souls-like. It's not an RPG. It released more than 5 years ago. It's not a Rockstar game. It's an indie. Yes, it's from an incredibly small dev team.
Oh yeah,
And it's not developed by Toby Fox.
it's good. 2 questions to
8
try and
questions.
get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
You're
not
on the,
Hollow Knight.
you're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Not Hollow Knight, because that's the Souls-like, I would say. With the dying and going back and getting your spirit, however. Benches.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say I enjoyed this game earlier on?
You did. Seems like a long time ago.
It does.
How do we get these last 2 questions down? What do we?
If it makes you feel better, the final clue, you'll get it on the final clue.
right, okay.
So don't stress yourselves out.
Is that a
okay?
Metroidvania?
This is just for fun. I mean, don't fucking waste questions.
I'll just try and get to the clue.
Is that a question?
Oh, Lewis, do you want to ask? What question do you want to ask?
I don't know. The clues make it harder sometimes. This is one of those instances.
Okay. All right, I'll give you an extra clue at this stage.
Okay.
Thank you. He's very nice.
You're on the right lines with the Toby Fox thinking.
Oh my god.
Who's Toby Fox?
Could be a farming sim.
He's got it. He's got it. It's locked in. Look at that glint in his eye.
Oh, is it going to be like
I think it might be. I think it might be. Is it a farming simulator game?
Let's just check with the Wikipedia. Yes. Yes, it is a farming sim.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Unless it's like Tales of Mysteria or whatever the hell it was called.
Well, it's not. Wasn't
Question.
released 5 years ago, was it? Does
Oh,
Mark
yeah,
Ham-
10.
Does Mark Hammond hate this game?
So is that your final question
Yes.
before your final guess?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you the final clue is this was not submitted by Grumpy Mark Hammond. That was the final clue. So yes, he does hate this game.
Do I hate
Therefore,
this game?
this game is
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Please
Well
don't play
done.
any of that shite music.
The music is amazing.
Lewis
It is
loves the music.
so good. Please let this song be. I don't know what one it is, but it's like "Spring, the Valley Comes Alive," because is the best. That's the best song on the.
I mean,
soundtrack.
if you can find the actual name of it, sure, I can change everything for that. So you go and have a quick Google.
That's what it's called.
Is it called that?
No,
Spring, the Valley Comes Alive.
let me
Well, just verify. You know,
I'll verify.
This is very important. But yes,
What's the
that
song
was just if you can find the actual name of that, I'll use that. Happy to.
Or what was suggested?
Because, well, Eamon just suggested Stardew Valley.
Oh,
So
did he?
thank you, Eamon.
Thanks,
And
Eamon.
he's left it open. So
It is called
Lewis-
Spring.
spring,
The Valley Comes Alive.
the valley comes alive. Well, it better be good. That's all I'm saying.
I hope that's the right one.
Imagine if it's like deathcore. Reese will be happy.
Well, at least there's one
Spring.
good thing about the game.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I don't think Lewis and I were that harsh on it. I think it was just more like, yeah, it was okay, but it didn't grab us. Lewis is listening to
I played it for 40
just to
hours.
verify. Did you?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There's a motorbike in it.
No.
Wow.
A couple of bikes, though.
Great. And yeah, so the reason why you were close with Toby Fox, obviously, is because this was developed by like one
One guy.
guy,
Yeah.
Concerned Ape.
What's his name?
I forget what his real name is, but Concerned Ape is a cool name. And yeah, Concerned Ape did the soundtrack as well, which was at least in the original release. I don't know if there's more music added, because I know it's been updated like 50,000 times as well. Certainly back when we played it, it was all Concerned Ape. So, yeah, great.
What was a
great
Chucklefish
choice.
game? Something
I think
happened.
it was originally published by them, wasn't it? And then didn't Concerned Ape just publish it, like self-publish it after that? Because it, I mean, 30 million
That's crazy.
for an indie is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then so is putting it at 32 in the all-time great games.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you think that was a good clue?
No, probably not in hindsight. But you got there in the end
We did.
with a few bonus clues.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks to Eamon. Thanks to Lewis for pointing us in the direction of this lovely track, which is Spring, the Valley Comes Alive from Stardew Valley. This episode of The Mimic's Veil is brought to you by our newest patron, Andrew. That was a rubbish clap. Fucking hell. Come on. You got one job, guys.
Oh, we clapped.
Yeah, but like after like 10 seconds, and then you would. Oh, come on. Right. This episode of The Mimic's Veil is brought to you by our newest patron, Andrew. Yay. And on this episode, we discuss some of Andrew's favourite pastimes.
You were nearly there.
It's 'cause I know I'm about Say beginner.